Mike's
Hello.
your name is. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm not good, but I'll explain
Oh,
in a minute.
no.
I am loving the shirt, loving the hair. This is.
Yeah, I'm taking it back to 2005 right now.
I was going to say, hey, what is this, 2002? This is great.
I know.
Is that Pippi Longstocking? Is that the.
Yeah, well, I cut my hair. I didn't cut my hair. I took my extensions out and not too long ago. And so I haven't really been able to wear my hair like this. And it's getting long enough that I can. So
Nice. Looks great. I love
Thanks,
that look.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike,
How was your weekend? Good?
It was good, but I just realized that I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to connect to a different one. I might go away for a second. So just, pretend
Now
like
what do I
nothing's
do?
happening.
Well,
Pretend like nothing's happening.
Are you going to go away for like 30 seconds or like 5 seconds or
30 seconds.
Boy, I don't know if I can hold the fort down that long. Max. All right, do what you got to do. I was just telling Amy before I started, I was like, this might be a short show because as you all know, I am in the desert and I like this bigger picture anyways. Who needs her, right? Am I right? You can see my Who shirt, my Beatles Lego. Anyways, I'm in the desert. So I usually shut the AC off in here. It's got what do they call a mini split between the two rooms. And they're brand new. They were installed specifically for this studio. I'm talking about the AC unit in here. It's a mini split. That's what they have. I wasn't familiar with this sort of thing. But it's in the workout room and in this studio, and they're awesome. And I usually shut it off just to save some power, energy, whatever. And then I just turn it on an hour before we do the show. Room's perfect, nice and cooled down and whatnot. So I come in here today and I just turn it on. Everything's normal. And it says E6. And I'm like,
oh no. Oh boy.
Oh no. Why is it hot in here? And I know E means air. I just know it.
This can't be good.
This can't be good. And so it's hot in here.
Oh, is that why you mentioned it might be a short show?
Yeah, because
I don't blame you, Mike.
Talking now, it's going to be even hotter. And it's like,
totally,
dude, this could be shorter lived. I will do my best. But yeah, I looked it up and it's not like, oh, just unplug it and blow on it and plug it back in or something. It's like, yeah, it sounds like a complex wiring issue. I'm like, just what I needed to hear. Yeah, that's
right.
Because it was super easy and cheap, to have put in. And,
yeah, right.
So, I'm looking forward to dealing with that.
Mike, as someone who is constantly sweating when we do these episodes, I empathize with you. And I will understand if you have to end it early.
But see, I picture you with like a fan. I'm assuming you and the rock star have air conditioning in your place. Like, why would you?
Well, we do have AC, Mike. But as you know, heat rises, and so it's a little hotter on our top floor, which is where I record from. If I were doing this on our main level, I'd be totally fine. But since I'm like up here, and it's why my internet sucks. Don't even get me going on it. But because apparently I'm too far away from the box, it's just like a whole fucking thing.
Why don't you put your foot down, make Rocky go upstairs, and then you get the lower level?
Well, because I have hardwood floor down there, and it would be the sound would just be shitty. Whenever I'm on like calls, they're always like, it's so echoey when you're in there. Yeah. I just don't think it would be good for sound.
Gotcha.
And Lord knows we have some listeners with sensitive ears, Mike. And so I don't want to do anything that would mess that up.
Yeah, I really, I know people bitch all the time, but I hear people bitching about other people's audio on shows, and I'm like, yeah, their audio's fine. Their audio sounds fine.
Yeah.
So some people are, it's just like a thing people do. I just go, well, turn it up or something, or turn it down. I don't know what to tell you. My levels look great. I'm green into the orange.
Mine too.
So I'm waiting for Trav to come out here. Eventually there's some things need to be ordered and all that. It's whatever, but trust me, eventually that'll happen. And then I figure he'll nerd out with the super nerd stuff and dial that stuff in. Like that's what he does. In the meantime, I'm using what I can, and you sound great to me.
And I don't think we've gotten many complaints since I've gotten all of this shit.
I get random ones every once in a while, like, oh yeah, and then the whole starts talking and it blows my eardrums out, and I'm like, that sounds like a your end problem. Yeah. I don't know what to say. She's got top of the line equipment. I know what she's using, and I know how easy it is to set up. But then
I'll listen from time to time, and to see if there's an issue, and it sounds fine, but I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's the way we're listening to it.
Yeah, it could be, and it could totally be on our end. I'm not discounting the fact that it's
I'm
possible.
Discounting it.
That's fine. But when I did who are these podcasts a couple weeks ago, those guys mentioned after I was on, like, yeah, he was a little low in the mix. And I texted Carl afterwards. I was like, dude, why didn't you fucking say something? I could have turned my gain up for you. And he's like, I just fix it in post. So there's something there that he and Adam both picked up on. So I'm not saying, they would know. So I'm not saying it's not.
Well, shit. Get Travis out there now and have him look at the E6 error while he's there. I'm sure he could fix that. And he's probably not doing anything.
He's probably not busy at all.
I think this is like the slow time for the CIA right now.
Yeah, the CIA special ops take a lot of summers off.
Yes. He might be in Texas.
He could be. He could be. But
take his boat down there and help with the search and rescue.
Yeah, he's been out of town for a couple of weeks, I think, in wherever he goes. Yeah. So it's been, he reached out to me this weekend, actually. And so I'm like, I know I'm waiting for you to get back home so we can kind of move the ball forward. But anyways, this weekend, just briefly, I went out and played a little golf, trying to be more active, went to Pazul.
How'd that go?
Yeah, I took the Binks out into the Pazul for a while, sent out a great post with her diving into the pool.
Yes. Okay, also, just pause really fast on that. I requested CC pics, and I maintain that request, and I want them as much as possible. What I don't want, Mike, is the same pictures you post on social media. Dude, like if that's what you're gonna do, I'll just see them on social media. So I want Aunt Amy or family exclusive photos.
I totally know that. I thought about it before I posted it. Because I sent that to you. I sent that picture of her diving in the Pazul to you. I sent it only to you. And then 6 hours later, I was driving with G and I was like, look at the baby. And he goes, dude, you should post that. That's awesome. I'm like, really? He's like, that's a great picture. And so I was like,
It was a great photo.
And so I posted, but I swear to God, I was like, Amy's not going to feel this special. She's not.
I didn't.
She got it early. She had early access to it.
Right. Yeah. It's like I'm on your fucking Patreon or something. Like I got early access to CC photos.
Yeah. No, that will not happen in the future. That was a one-off.
All right.
I'll
take
I
your
swear.
word.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, G was like, hey, you want to go golfing Saturday? And I'm like, hot out. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he goes, TPC Scottsdale. And I'm like, oh, that's one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
So here's the thing around here when it's super hot, most normal people that have money get the fuck out of here. They go to San Diego for the summer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of vacant, where no one's living there. They're gone. But what that means is you can go play the boulders for $70.
Right.
You can go play the TPC. Yeah. So you can go play the TPC of Scottsdale. That's a $600 round.
Wow.
Per person. You can go play it for $120.
Wow.
And G's like, you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I want to go to that. I've been there when they've got the big tournament. Now, TPC Scottsdale is the one where the Waste Management is tournament, where the famous 16th hole is.
Big
and it's really cool. And it's just it's the biggest party ever as far as a golf tournament. Like the crowd gets crazy and loud. Like they break all the golf rules. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of fun. That aspect of it. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to play that. And so we get out there, and they've got a plaque on 16. Like everybody's had a hole in one, and there's Tiger Woods, and he had that unbelievable hole in one. on that hole before the grandstands were put in. And they take those down, by the way, which sucks. I so wish it was a stadium in there and you walk into the stadium. So for like a month or two after that tournament, if you play there, the stands are still up. But they take them down, and it has something to do with tax purposes for the city. Like, it's a whole thing, because it'd be so cool just to keep that up.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get out there, first hole, and it's like, oh, it's going to be one of those days where you forgot how to hit a golf ball. Cool. This ought to be fun. And I feel like shit. I'm like, it's really hot out here, but I don't. It's one of those things in this heat. Like, if it's just like, if there's any humidity in the air, it feels like the worst hot day you've ever had in Michigan or Florida.
Yeah,
it's horrible. When it's a dry heat, it's like, it's 110. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Just drink a lot of water. You're fine. There was a little humidity in the air, and I'm just like, I don't feel that great. So I play 2 holes, and geez, like, the back nines where this course is awesome. Yeah, that's where it's super cool. Pretty. Yeah. He's like, just save it for the back nine. If you need to take a couple holes off, because I don't give a shit. I don't care about the scoring. I'm just trying to, get a little walking in and that kind of stuff. So
you walked it?
No. I walked from the cart to my ball, which is
so which is okay, like the normal golfing. Like, yeah. Okay, you didn't walk the course.
No,
I was gonna say I don't mind going golfing, but I like driving the cart.
Yeah,
like, that's
me too.
my thing. Like, I'll just drive the cart, listen to music. Yeah. Maybe I'll drive it every once in a while just to like let out some aggression, or I'll do a putt.
Well, we're golfing, and it's like, God, so I played the first 2 holes, terrible, and then I'm like, fuck this game. I hate this game, and it's hot as balls. I turned into you like overnight. Like, I was PMSing. I had a migraine, the whole works, and I was like, I'm not. And G's like, just sit out. I'm like, I didn't eat. I'm hot as balls. This sucks.
And so I could be at home in the fucking pool right now.
I could be in the pool with the Binks right now.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he's having fun, and I love watching G Money have fun. And he's a great golfer, and so and he's used to the weather more than I am. So we start playing, and we're getting held up. There's a foursome in front of us, and I'm like,
no,
fucking go.
What? Yeah, that see right there, like, I would just lose my shit.
Yeah. And
I can't even handle it at mini golf.
Yeah, right? Now imagine 100
borderline
degrees
temper tantrum if I get stuck behind a big group.
They're slowing us up, and I'm just like, I'm getting so frustrated because I know there's not that many people on the course. So you shouldn't be held up because most people aren't dumb enough to go out in that kind of weather. And so it's a foursome, and I can tell, I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, there's no one in front of them. There's no one in front of them. And I know we're playing as a twosome, but still, we're not rushing. And the polite thing to do is let people play through. But anyways, I could tell by a couple of the gentlemen walking, like, they probably served, right? They probably saw some shit at some point.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a normal limp of a guy that age. That looks like someone who
right
lost part of a limb or saw some shit. So I'm not going to say anything except thank you for your service.
Well, how awkward. I mean, what if they didn't serve?
Well, yeah, but I wasn't going to be like, what the fuck? And have the guy go, oh, yeah, my fake leg, and be like, oh, were you in Afghanistan in 2004? Like, no. I wasn't going to be that guy. I wasn't going to call it out. But I was like, I'm pretty sure they serve, G, so we're going to let them do their thing. Anyways, nicest guys in the world. We finally get to this par 3 around hole 8, I believe. You can fact check me on where that hole is towards the end of the first 9.
I'm not going to do that.
No, but some asshole listening to be like, this is hole 7, dick. Whatever. So anyways, they're like, hey, you guys want to play through? And we're like, yes, God, yes. We pull up, and I'm like, I don't feel good.
Oh, no.
I don't feel good. And I'm like, this might be what heat stroke feels like. Yeah, that might be it. And so G is like running up to the hole. I'm going to hit, and we're going to get the fuck out of here. Which the way G kind of rolls. And the guys are like, take your time, slow down. G ends up fucking whack. Just beauty of a shot. He's just watching. I'm like, hurry up, get back to the cart. Let's get out of here. Let's go. I don't care where that shot landed. I don't care if it landed. Let's go. And he's walking back, and the guys are all like, wow, great shot. This and that. I'm like, get in the fucking cart. Let's go. And he's like, geez, let me put my club away. I'm like, now. We start driving, and I just start fucking hurling.
Dude.
Like, as soon as we got 15 feet from these guys, it was like, I'm floored, and I'm driving. I'm just like, whoa.
Oh, no.
Like 10 times. 10 times. Whatever was in me was now out of me.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it was bad. But then I kind of felt great afterwards. We got to 9. I got a hot dog. So you just kept
going?
Yeah.
And then you ate a hot dog.
Yeah, I felt like it was like heat stroke. Like because I hadn't really eaten. I had a couple crackers.
Did you consider like water if it was a heat stroke, or just wanted to go with the hot dog?
At this point, I was through 10 bottles of water.
Oh, okay.
Like
you only mentioned the hot dog, Mike.
Yeah. Well, the hot dog didn't come till after the vomit, but it was all water. I was trying to keep hydrated because it's wild, dude. You'll drink 10 bottles of water and not piss once.
Yeah.
Like you just keep, and that's what you have to do. But once I got that out of my system and I got another water in me, I started to come alive. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm feeling it. And so I was able to play the back 9. And the only thing that mattered to me was like, we got to 16 and I'm like, wow, this is a really lame fucking hole without the stadium seating around it. This is a really dumb par 3, but I'm like, I know the history of it. I can visualize. And G played from the tips back there and fucking threw a dart. And it was like, no one's booing that shot. He's on the green. And I'm playing from the whites. And I'm just like, just don't let the fan base boo you. Like, I can't be booed on this hole. If you're going to have a shot today. And I put it on the green. And I 2-putted for my par. So I got a par on 6. So I wouldn't have been booed. Stadium full of people. Yeah.
That is good, Mike.
Yeah. So that was kind of the excitement of my day. And then there was nobody behind us. G's like, you want to play it again? I'm like, yeah, kind of. And so we went back and played it again.
Oh, nice. There you go. It's like,
I would have been booed on that one. Yeah.
You would have been booed on that one.
I think I got a 4. So I would have been booed for not parring it.
Okay.
I can't remember all the reasons they boo you, but it is really cool to see those spots where you're like, wow, you kind of recognize some historic shots or some historic places. But it was really shocking to me to see how different it is when you don't, because when I say that, have you ever been there?
No.
You'll have to come out one year and we'll get passes and do it. You and Rocky come out and we'll go. It's such a fun tournament. It's Super Bowl weekend. The weather is fucking perfect. And it's just tense. Parties everywhere. Super high end.
Yeah.
It's an amazing event. And seeing it without all the bells and whistles and the tents and the people and the fucking chicks with the hats and they're all sexy golfer chicks everywhere. Like it's just it's an awesome course, but it'd be hard to be like, this is the same place, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's fun. It's fun nonetheless. I bet your weekend wasn't that exciting.
My weekend was not that exciting. We really didn't do much. We were going to, but then we didn't. So I caught up on, I've been on jury duty for so long that I kind of fell behind on watching some things. So I caught up on some Netflix documentaries, which were pretty good. I watched the Titanic one. What was that one called? The Titanic submarine.
Oh, Titan. Was it Titan submarine?
Yeah.
Yes, going down to look at the Titanic.
Yeah. I watched that over the weekend.
Yeah, we can talk about that in uno momento, because I actually watched that one as well.
Yeah. I watched a few things. It was good.
Yeah, what else did you watch? And then we'll circle back to Titan.
I watched this Jerry Springer documentary that was on Netflix, and I loved Jerry Springer growing up. Like, I just feel like people who are our age, our generation, like when you were at home for sick from school, like you were watching Jerry Springer, Price is Right. And like that was just, and then like Days of Our Lives was on at 1. So it was like I had my whole lineup, and Jerry Springer was like a huge part of that. And so this kind of went behind, like, you know, how they got to that point. I guess I never realized Jerry Springer was like a politician.
Oh,
he was like
Cincinnati mayor.
Yeah, mayor.
He was a mayor of Cincinnati.
I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize like how serious of a dude he was before that, you know, and that how that's not really the direction he wanted that show to go. And you know, I'm watching it and I'm just thinking, first of all, that show could never be made today.
No way.
Like they had KKK members on there.
Oh, frequently. You couldn't even air Oprah's original show today.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you would be canceled for even just quote unquote giving them a platform.
Yes. 100%.
And then it kind of struck me like, sure, you couldn't do that. You couldn't have a show like that today. But what that really is just like a microcosm of the internet. Right? Yeah. Like what you saw on Jerry Springer is, and why people were so entertained with it is literally just like social media. They're just so very similar, you know, and you find these weird, it was also hilarious because
what you mean by that is extremist opinions and voices being elevated and going viral.
Yes.
That's like the extreme version of that shit that we see online all the time.
Right. And it was popular when it was on TV, so it's not surprising that shit goes viral on social media now. Like people just like watching train wrecks, really.
Yeah.
But what was funny is they had this map, and I forgot what they called it, like the Springer Circle or something, but it was like this, or the Springer Triangle, but it was this triangle that went over like Missouri, like part of Missouri, and like just a bunch of these redneck states. Like it went over 3 redneck states, and they said like 90% of the Jerry Springer crowd came from inside that triangle.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Hey, I'll look it up. But it was really interesting. The Springer Triangle. It was.
So this is where the numbers came from? Like
this is where like the guests would come from.
Oh, the guests. So is it Kentucky? Was it South and Midwest?
Yeah, it was Tennessee, Ohio, and Georgia.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, doesn't it? But like just seeing like what went behind the scenes of finding guests to be on that show, and it was just really crazy. It was really interesting to watch.
So are you too young to know who Robert Downey Jr. was?
I mean, I know who he is, but I guess in what logo. Context?
Well, obviously not Robert Downey, the actor, but that was his name, right? Robert Downey, the Robert Downey Show? Was that his name? Am I getting his name wrong? The Mouth of the South. He would smoke the whole episode, and he would just it was like an amplified version of what it was even before. He's the guy, I want to say it was at the Detroit airport that his ratings were down, and he claimed that he was attacked in the bathroom. No, that's the Mouth of the South. That's a wrestler manager. He had a talk show, Downey. It was I want to say it was Robert Downey, but not to be confused with the actor.
Well, then I don't know.
Google Robert Downey talk show, controversial. There's been documentaries made of him. He would smoke the entire show. I think he died of lung cancer. But he claimed at one point after ratings went down. Morton Downey Jr. Fuck.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. Sometimes, I swear. Morton Downey Jr. You're probably too young to remember the Morton Downey Jr. craze, because that was even more so like Klansman. You knew at the time that the Springer Show and Morton Downey Jr. were not good for society, but it did like we all as a country like watch those things, especially as a teenager or a preteen watching that stuff. You knew who the assholes were.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like
you
it was
didn't
like,
watch it and sympathize with the KKK people.
No.
You watched it and you were happy that the audience was booing them.
Right.
You know?
Like,
yeah.
This idea of platforming Klansmen, it's like, that guy looks like an asshole in a Grand Dragon wizard fucking costume, you know, being screamed at by black bishops.
And I think Jerry Springer even mentions that at some point when he's interviewed, not for this documentary because he's dead, but at some point in his career, he's like, you know, like my job and the you know, our First Amendment protects speech that we don't like, and you know, I'm bringing them on to, you know, and having them, like, clearly they're not good people, like you just said, like they're bad people, and our audience lets them know that, but they have the right to say that.
Yeah,
you know.
That's, again, I've said it 1,000 times. It's the only speech that needs protecting. There's no need for First Amendment protections for non-offensive speech.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense on any level. Right. It's only there to say to protect you for speech that you might vehemently disagree with.
Yeah.
And probably should in a lot of respects. That's the whole point. So this idea of what Twitter was doing a few years ago and just like kicking people off for their opinions, they booted a sitting president.
That was so crazy.
For fuck's sakes. Like, I guess he would have been a former president at the time, but just silly. Yeah. But that, is that worth watching? Is that a,
yeah, it was pretty good. It's just 2 episodes. It was pretty good. And then I also watched, there's a series that I recommend on Netflix called Trainwreck. And it started with a docuseries about Woodstock 99, which is very interesting.
Love that one.
That one was really good. So it's kind of a spinoff of that. But they've got a bunch of different series. Like one was on the clothing brand American Apparel. I don't know if you remember that. American Apparel was always like too rich for me, but like my Jewish friends wore American Apparel and I was always super jealous, but the clothes were kind of ugly. So it delved into like that culture and what it was like. And that one is really fucking crazy. They also had one on the that Toronto mayor.
Yes, I saw that one. Rob Ford.
Yeah. And it took me back to TDC days. Do you fucking remember when he came outside for that press conference? He's like,
yes.
Oh, and so, she said I wanted to eat her pussy, but I've got plenty to eat at home.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, shit. He was Trump before Trump. Except
he totally
with the
He totally
vicious drug habit and alcoholic. But he said it like it was. And
honestly, I think he would have probably won again. Like, had he not gotten sick and died. Like, I don't think people really cared that much about the drugs.
No.
I think they were willing to look past that. So that one was interesting. And then the other one that I watched was the poop cruise.
I keep seeing that pop up and I'm just like, I haven't been able to click on it. I'm just like,
dude, I need you to watch it because we're the same and I need to know what you would have done in this situation. Okay. I honestly, I need to know. I need to know what your reaction would be.
What do you, shit. Okay. I'll watch it tonight.
Okay. It's only like an hour. You'll blow through it quick.
Okay. Did they do a train wreck on Aaron Hernandez?
It was a different series. That one was like Untold Stories. Or, that was a different series, but same thing.
Yeah.
And that one was like the same one that they did with OJ.
Yep. The Titan one you mentioned, I just happened to watch that one, the submersible that was gonna take people down to visit the crash of the Titanic, which is 4,000 meters, down on the bottom of the ocean by Newfoundland is where that is. What did you think of that one?
Not to harken back to our Guam conversation, but
way closer to us than you thought. Yeah.
Dude.
Like, wait, it's just off the wing of New York?
Yeah, holy shit. Basically Boston.
Yeah. I had no idea. If you would have asked me, like, gun to my head, Other side of the earth.
Yes. By Australia. That's where I thought Newfoundland was.
Easily, would have been closer than what I would have picked.
When I saw where Newfoundland was, I was like, wait, what?
What? Holy shit, why haven't we been there?
That's what stuck out to me the most in that whole documentary.
Dude, it leapt out at me too. I was like, it can't be that close to like New York and Boston. Like,
looks
really?
like you could take a fucking jet ski there.
Yeah, totally. It's like Cuba's where?
And then I guess I didn't realize that the Titanic was so close when they sank.
Yeah. They like waved goodbye or something and then down they went. Yeah, I don't know why. I've seen the movie a couple times. You wore the pendant from the movie. I mean, we had no idea.
None.
I mean, we could have probably
retrieved. Surprised by that.
We probably could have retrieved that pendant ourselves.
I know. I feel like you can't just go out there. Come on, it's so close. Yeah. Give me a break.
What did you think of? I think it's called Titan.
Yeah,
it's a Netflix documentary. What did you think of it?
Oh, it was good. It was interesting. It was bound to happen.
Oh my God!
Like that was happening regardless.
Yeah, isn't it wild? So as the submersible is going lower and lower, the pressure's obviously getting more and more intense. And so the amount to keep that sub intact, like you need something stronger than even Gorilla Glue. Like it's really got to be strong.
Yeah.
And so they're like, then a lot of stuff. You can't do it with like, I would have thought like, just throw some duct tape on it. It's a little hole, no big deal.
Right.
And you're good. You can go down there. No, that'll blow up.
Yeah.
And so they're doing all kinds of testing and like up 3,000 meters. And then boom, the thing blows or whatever in their tests. And then,
dude, like the popping sounds.
Oh,
that almost haunted me. I was like, that's probably what they heard before they were dying was like all these popping sounds of essentially like holes just popping into the material. It's like, oh my God.
It's like a shaken Coke can that finally just gives.
Oh,
and so they've got all kinds of wiring to detect the smallest sounds in this carbon fiber hull, right?
Yep.
I think I have that right.
Yep.
So Stockton Rush, who is the CEO of the company Ocean Gate, I think it was. And this is his thing. This guy, smart guy. I think he was a Princeton guy.
Yeah.
Total dickhead. Total dickhead. And just he wants to be the Elon Musk of the ocean. Yeah. Right. He references Elon Musk and he thinks he's running in those circles. And it's just remarkable to me, like how you're able to put blinders on, like, this guy's talking too much about like potential problems. You're gone.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so crazy. Like there were no shorting of warnings that were given to them that this was going to happen.
Yeah. The topside crew, you got to a point where you invited CBS Sunday Morning News, one of their lead anchors, to go in this fucking tube, and he thinks like I would have thought. Someone's obviously knows what they're doing and has this.
100%. You wouldn't take me down there if you thought it was dangerous.
You wouldn't take a national news program down with you if you didn't have this down. That would be suicide.
Right.
You're not going to blow up the morning news guy. Like, this is the same feeling that we have. And as we've gotten older, and I think we've talked about this, like going to Cedar Point, I look up at the corkscrew. I'm like, those rusty bolts I'm not going on that thing.
Totally.
But when you're a little kid, it's like, they got this.
Yep.
They would never put me on a roller coaster. It could break.
Exactly.
Like, the idea, like my parents let me go to the Livonia Spree, every summer.
Fucking carnies putting that shit together.
Yeah. And the joke was, look at these fucking tools that are putting this thing together.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I wouldn't go hang out at one of those places now. I'm old and I wouldn't trust it.
But what's crazy though is, they had legit people from Boeing and shit.
Yeah.
That were working on this. But
then they kind of dismiss them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they told them that they couldn't be done, essentially. You can't do this.
When they talked at one point about getting cased? Was that the term they use, or classed? Getting classed. Yeah. Which you think of for car companies, airliners, like these are just federal regulations in place to make sure that you can't be too close to this thing. Like there's other people involved here, right? You're not just
like, it's like the unaffiliated neurosurgeon that's on the sidelines testing you for a concussion to put you back in the football game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so being classed is like a third party outlet comes in and runs their own set of tests to make sure
people can go on it.
Exactly. And what is crystal clear as you watch this, the alarm bells, the engineers, the marine biologists that are going, that doesn't sound right. And the clicks that you're talking about, if you watch the documentary, it's just like white noise and then and you're just like, yeah, that's the thing going, let me out of here. I gotta go. Boom.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just settling. It's like a house settling. And you're like, yeah, no. And so it's no surprise that the thing went boof.
Yeah.
At some point, killed a bunch of people.
And also, I kind of object to the fact that, do you remember how long we were led on to believe that they could possibly still be out there? And I think they even talk about it in the documentary. Like they had an oxygen countdown clock on CNN.
Yes, I remember.
And when they fucking knew all along that thing exploded, the Canadian government got it on like their underwater recording devices.
Yeah.
So they knew.
It's wild. I remember when that clock was going on, I remember reading stories about it, and it was pretty early in that process where it was like, they've only got 12 hours of oxygen left. Oh my God. Are they going to find them? Are they going to be able to find them and save them? Like it's a movie. I swear to God, so many of these things play out like you've seen too many movies.
Yeah.
If you think, the superhero is going to go underwater and save them, we've just seen too many fucking movies that the good guy always wins. The hero always comes through. If you started reading early on, there were stories of like, oh yeah, that thing's fucking gone. There were a couple. It was almost like COVID where you had to do, like CNN was going to tell you wearing 4 masks was a great idea, especially if you're in your car alone. Like they were just going to do that. That's what they do. But then if you dug a little deeper and read some other stuff, there were people being very honest about COVID early. There were people also being pretty honest about this. Like, yeah, there's no fucking savior coming for this thing. That thing exploded. It's gone.
Right.
So you held out hope, like, maybe they're wrong, but of course they weren't.
Yeah.
It's just wild how this guy, Stockton Rush, and he obviously believed it. He's going in this sub and doing this would be like Elon Musk going up in the rocket.
Yeah. Like
he fully believed that everything was going to be fine.
So crazy.
Just too close to it. But how you could get away with, we don't need those third party nerds. We don't need it. Like it's an HR department dismissal.
Right.
Just like what?
Right.
It's just crazy to me.
It is.
But it's a good documentary. They're putting out some pretty interesting stuff out there. What are you looking up? You look like you were looking up something.
I was trying to see if I could find a clip that had those popping sounds, but I'm having a hard time finding it because it's such an eerie sound. It's so crazy.
It is because of the depth. First off, there's no way I would get in that thing. Seeing them being bolted in.
Dude, that was what I was going to ask you. Like, there is quite literally nothing on this planet that I would ever get into that device for.
No.
To see the fucking Titanic? No thanks. I'll look at high def photos.
Yeah. Other people have done it and filmed it.
Exactly. And I saw the movie, so.
Yeah. No, it's wild. I'm glad there are people out there doing it. I'm glad there are people researching the ocean. Like the ocean to me is, it's shocking how little our knowledge is about it.
Well,
it's
on that
wild,
note, then Mike, if that interests you, I wasn't going to mention it, but another one that I watched was Shark Whisperer on Netflix, and it's about this chick who's super hot, by the way, so you'll like it.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah.
Her name's Ocean, but she is like one with the sharks, and her husband,
shark groups.
Yeah, her and her husband go and like swim with these sharks in the wild. She has swam with like great whites, and she's learned how to like communicate with them, and she's made it like her passion because she wants to like people to stop killing sharks, and she feels like bad that sharks have like a bad name out there, a bad rap.
I agree with her. I'm with her.
And so you should watch it though, because it's like the footage that they have is incredible. I mean, they take this incredible camera down and he's just filming her while she's swimming with these sharks, and it's really fascinating. Might be even better when you're stoned. I'm not totally sure, but it's really good. And now I follow her on Instagram because I'm like, now I'm hooked.
Yeah, no, I would be into that. I am a huge fan of the great white shark.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, might be my favorite animal. And I hate how we hunt them, and I hate the rap they get, for shark attacks, which are so minuscule in the world.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Like, leave them alone. They're so majestic and so awesome, in my opinion. Like the great white predator is like such a badass and so huge.
Yeah.
Sharks are awesome. I don't get into Shark Week as much as I should, but I will definitely check out. What is it? Shark Whisperer?
Shark Whisperer. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to show you. I'll just show you this video of her swimming with this great white.
Oh yeah, she's cute.
At one point, she like swims in like her thong and shit to like raise awareness. But look at her.
Oh, awesome. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I got a friend. He's going, look at her. I could totally eat her, but I'm not going to.
Right.
Dude, that's
Isn't
so
that crazy?
Awesome. Yeah.
But like she started like documenting all these sharks. And what happened with this one's really crazy because she swam with great whites twice, but one of them. So the first time she what?
Go ahead. We've never seen them mate. You know that? We've never seen a great white banging.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
They're like, get out of here, weirdo. And they go down in the dark.
But we've seen other sharks do it.
I don't know. I know that about great whites. I don't think, at least as far as I last knew. Now, I don't know if there's a bunch of peeping Tom pervs out there trying to capture them, getting it on. But I don't know how they get it on or what. But as far as I know, we've never seen them mate. It's like a dark side of the moon type of thing. Yeah.
Well, her and her husband went to this one spot that you can like find great whites. And she's like, it was the first time. And she went diving in a cage. And she was like, and I just kept like making eye contact with this great white and that was swimming around the cage. And I just felt like she was inviting me to come swim with her. And so she literally gets out of the fucking cage and just starts like swimming with this great white. And it's like, it's just letting her. I don't know if that was that one, or there was another time where they found out that there was like a dead whale carcass. And so they were like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of sharks around there. We can go like swim with some sharks. And because she's from Hawaii. So they like went out there and she's like, so all these sharks were like feasting off of this whale carcass, and they have video of this. And she goes, and then all of a sudden, all of the sharks just vanish. And she was like, I was like, what is going on? And she goes, and then I hear these dolphins that are coming by and they're like kind of going crazy. And she's like, and sure enough, like out of the deepest of the ocean, she just sees this great white coming up to feast on that whale carcass.
Really?
And she was just sitting there like watching it. And then they saw her. And I think that was the one where she was just swimming with it like that. And she was like grabbing onto its fin and just like fucking, it was just letting her. It's so crazy. She's honestly like the shark whisperer. It's wild.
Yeah, I want to see that for sure. That sounds
And then of
awesome.
course, like the dudes in her industry are like, no one respects her. I mean, she's making it like people should not normalize. They shouldn't normalize swimming with sharks. And it's like, no shit. Okay. I think we all understand that, dipshit Amy and Mike should not go out and swim with sharks. Right. Like, I think we all generally understand that. But we can also generally understand that there are some people who, one, are willing to take that risk. I'm not. And two, like, clearly have a way with the animal. Yeah. I mean, she talks about how she just would go down there and she started to observe like how they talk to each other and how they swim and what it means, like how she interprets it. And she can hold her breath for 6 minutes. She's
one of those. Yeah. I know you can train for that. You can get a lot better at doing that. Look, I love the ocean. There's a feeling you get just looking at it, just being in it, that is different. It's kind of like that with the lake. You can get that feeling hanging out at Lake Michigan, Orchard Lake, one of those, like
just nothing but water for
just nothing but water. Like, I can't wait to go back out to California. Fuck all the nut jobs. But just like going and hanging out at the ocean, seeing a sunset, sunrise, like it's just different.
Yeah.
I want to leave I don't eat fish. I never have. I think it's disgusting. I think you're disgusting if you eat fish. Like, leave them alone. Just let them do that. I think it's weird that we collect them and put them in tanks in our houses and stuff. Like, imagine if you jumped in the ocean and then they fucking grabbed you and put you in a cage and we're like, I got a new Amy.
It's called The Little Mermaid.
Is that what happened in The Little Mermaid? I think it's fucking weird. Really. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Go down and take some pictures. And then if they feel comfortable and they want to come up here and take some pictures of us, that's fine.
I mean, Mike, we eat animals, though. Like, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's different, though. They're on land. They're fair game.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to love this then, because she's like all about, not... she got legislation passed because once she started, she's like, I realized basically if I show my body with these sharks, it'll get a bunch of eyes on it and people will care. Like, she got it. And I'm sure that's why the men in her field don't like her. I guarantee that's why.
Of course it is.
But like, by the way, it worked because she tried the bill one time in Hawaii. It failed. Then she started posting those pics. She swam with a great white and it passed. So now it's like illegal to kill a shark.
I don't even get mad at hot chick privilege.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about the beauty of it. It's like, it doesn't last forever. It's fleeting. And we all recognize it. And I understand that feeling when you see someone, they have no business being in this line of work. Name the line of work. And it's like, if not for being a hot chick, no one would take this person seriously. I understand that, which is what sounds like those guys are doing.
Yeah.
Nerds getting all worked up and offended by it. But I look at shark fin soup is huge. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. She goes on a big thing about that.
Dude, seeing video of that, you couldn't watch it, first off. No fucking way.
They show it in this documentary and I was very upset about it because I saw shark heads.
Shark heads would be less offensive to me than shark fin soup, where they just like in an instant slice off the fins and then drop them back in the ocean. It's like someone coming up here, ripping your arms and legs off and then dropping you back in, like, good luck.
But
it's so mean.
They were killing the whole shark. They weren't throwing it back in. They were taking the shark, cutting off its fin, and then like cutting its head off. And so it had these had like these big bins of shark heads of these sharks that they killed for their fins.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate all that.
So
hate all of it.
You would like Ocean Whisper then, Mike.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Or
what I wouldn't like is Shark Whisper, yeah. What I wouldn't like is being in Texas right now.
Dude.
That sounds like a rough spot to be. Some flooding there. in
It is
Kerr
so
County
sad.
and
Oh
other
my
places.
God.
Have you seen the time-lapse
Yes.
video? Wow. I should have pulled that up. I didn't, but I just get so worked up at the assholes that try to politicize it immediately.
How do you even politicize
And I think it's fair to say I've always...
I mean, I know what they're saying, but like, how do you
hated
do
these
that?
people?
Mentally, how do you do that?
I know. I've just always hated these people. 30 years ago, you recognize those people that are they're just horrible human beings. They think they're the good guy too. You know, like I just don't understand it. I just don't. We've got this Houston mayoral appointee went ballistic, of course, blaming, criticizing a Texas campsite where 7 little girls perished in floodwaters, then blamed Trump, of course. How nice it must be to have an automatic out for anything that happens. It's just insane. Imagine your kid, like, failed the test, blame Trump. Struck out in baseball, Trump's fault somehow. Like, imagine being able to have this automatic get out of jail free card, no matter what happens in life.
Right.
Like, because that's what you're seeing with the absolute lunatics, you know, like some people we might know.
Yeah.
Like, having an automatic, it could never just be nature does fucked up things. We've seen these things our entire lives. Guess what? A hurricane's going to happen, or tornado's going to happen. A flood is going to happen. Flash flooding is going to happen. You're going to have rock walls fall off mountainsides. You know, they're tragic. They all suck. But these people whose first thought is white privilege or Trump, like it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
This moron here, and I just want some accountability. I want them not to be around anymore. This is asshole number one, Sade Perkins. Of course, she's got to go post this online. You know, while 28 little kids from a fucking camp in Texas they're dead, and you would have thought, probably not likely they would have survived this. But this is her take. I believe this
I hate
is
this
the
bitch,
one.
by the way.
Sorry. Do you? Good. Is this the one?
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp.
No, it's not.
They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said
black kid
in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing.
Bullshit. That's exactly
and that is what you
saying.
go on to say, by the way.
Like, why? What? Sade, I'd have more respect for you if you were like, look, as a black female, I hate white people. I hate them. And the fact that a bunch of them drown, even though they're kids, I don't care. Buy Facebook.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you want to be like a racist asshole, just do it. But don't couch it in that. You know, this.
That's
I'm not saying they should be. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's exactly why you're posting this of your MacBook Pro with these little white girls. If it ain't white, if it's white, it ain't right. Whatever bullshit she just said. Perma victim, Sade, because she's a black woman. God forbid. So fuck these children. Glad they drowned.
Whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now. But you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting.
That's a lie, by the way.
What? That's like... You're just going to say that?
Yeah.
You don't think it would be covered if 28 Hispanic girls in Texas were swept up in a flood? You don't think that it would get coverage? Nah, they're just the brown ones. No one cares about the brown ones. How poison are you? How horrible of a person are you, Sade, that you actually think there's any truth to that?
She's an asshole.
These people need to be shamed without mercy. I'm sorry, they just
no
do.
one would give a fuck. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada, yada, yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East goddamn Texas and to make a all-white enclave exclusionary just for white people with all the black people.
That's a lie. Okay, that's
so
slanderous
horrible.
is what you just did there. That is against the law, no matter how you were. Like, if there were any truth to that they set up a whites-only enclave, that would be illegal. So why wouldn't you go after that? If that's what you really felt, Sade, that's her name, right?
Sade. I think it's Sade, but I want you to keep mispronouncing it.
Sade?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sade. Yeah. Sade Perkins. Same thing. Then go after them. I hate this shit. I remember getting into a conversation with Raj once. He was bitching about Vidor, Texas. And he was just going on and on. Oh, they have billboards up in town in Vidor, Texas that says, "Don't let the sun hit your black ass on the way out." And I just looked at him, I went, no, they don't. No, they don't. And he went, oh, Google it. And I said, okay. Yeah, no, they don't. And the closest I could come was some fucking early 1900s, late 1800s reference to something. It was just like, dude, you're hanging on to something. I said, if that was really going on, I'd go there and protest with you.
These are also the same people that wanted, spaces for non-whites. Not if you're white, you need not come here. They wanted separate graduations at college. And this is just so fucking gross. She is so gross. This dumb ass cunt is so fucking gross. And of
racist.
course, in the least shocking thing of all time, her husband's white.
Oh, crazy. So, by the way, is that your little black girl on the far left?
I took a screenshot of it.
That looks
earlier.
like
I was like, she's going on. There's literally a black girl right there.
Oh, one of the token ones. Token. No, it doesn't need to be a token. It means her parents have a little bit of money and can afford to send her to this affluent camp is what it is.
Right.
And I'm sorry if that bothers you, Sade, whatever the fuck your name is, if that bothers you, but guess what? No aspect of life is a level playing field. I wish I could drive a Lamborghini too for fun. I wish I could have 40 sports cars in my driveway, but guess what? I can't. There's some people that can, and that's not some horrid injustice to you. This apparently is a pretty expensive, it's for well-to-do families. So whatever mix of race or religion they are in this area and can afford to send their kids to this Camp Mystic for girls, I guess you got to be a girl. That's who goes there.
And she does not back down from these comments. She doubles and triples down.
Yeah.
East Texas with
Let's
all
hear the rest
Hispanic
of this one, and then I'll play
East
her
Texas
response.
Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all-whites only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that.
We would all have a problem with that if there was any truth to it. Sade, we'd all have a problem with that.
And it's we all wish that you were missing in the fucking flood. BTW.
Yeah, how did you get saved?
If we could bring those 28 girls home and just sacrifice you, 100% of the population would agree to it.
Girls, I hope they all get found.
No, you don't.
Sure you do. Shut up. I'm not even gonna. So yeah, the mayor. Let's see. Perkins was admonished by Houston Mayor John Whitmire, who said he would take steps to remove her from the board. And then she doubled down. Fucking these people. This shows you how far they've gotten able to push it, that they feel comfortable posting shit like this.
It's not just her either. There's a ton of people out there.
Y'all called the fucking news on me?
Yeah, that comment of hers at the bottom.
I wasn't going to post anymore. But I think it's really funny how my little voice and my little 7,000 followers has garnered enough attention to where y'all want me to make a public statement. And I gave one. I definitely gave one. Wouldn't have been my first time having a news interview. If you look up my name, and I'm sure y'all have seen it, I have, tons of news articles written about me and the work that I've done. So
No, you don't.
Okay. She asked me for a statement. I gave her one. And I told her what it was. And I think that this is like, on one hand, it's definitely funny because I'm over here kikiing for sure. But do not negate the fact, all right? These are white people using their white power, all right, to try to bring me down, I guess. But the fact that it's...
Yeah, that's not what happened at all. You brought yourself down, you fucking asshole. Are you kidding me?
It's infuriating.
I just read this too. Girl, you brought this upon yourself. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from the consequences. Yeah. Consequences for what? I'd love to know what the rest
I can
of
tell
that
you what
says.
it says, Mike, because I screenshotted it.
What does it say?
Consequences for what? Maybe it was God's will to wash them little CUNTs away. Yes,
she did not say that.
Yes, she did.
Someone needs to shoot her face.
I know.
Like, for
That's
real.
what I mean. Like,
the world doesn't need this kind of poison in it.
We would trade you 100% of the time for every person that died in that flood. Like, no question.
Oh,
she's horrible.
If there was even like a 10% chance we could get one of them back, I would be willing to trade her for it. She is a
horrible fucking person. Horrible.
Camp Mystic director Dick Eastland was among the casualties.
And his wife
died
Tweety
trying
Bird.
to rescue campers. Yeah, Tweety. I saw that. Her name's Tweety. I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry.
Tweety was my favorite Looney Tune, by the way. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I was a big Tweety Bird fan.
I got a Tweety doll for
you
for
did?
Xmas.
You like Tweety?
I got a Sylvester.
Oh.
No. I got a Sylvester and a Tweety 3D printed. My mom gave it to me.
I love
They're really
Tweety.
cool.
Yeah.
Really? I like the grandma that would fucking whack. I'm just such a Foghorn Leghorn guy. Foghorn Leghorn is the shit. Oh, he's just the best. The best. Tweety's fine. I'm fine with Tweety. No, wait. Am I getting Tom and Jerry? Was there an old lady in Sylvester and
there was.
Tweety too?
Yeah, that was her bird.
Okay.
Tweety was her bird.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted more Foghorn Leghorn. I just loved him, man.
Back to
what
this.
A piece
See
of
you
shit.
next
What else
Tuesday.
did she say?
But the fact that it's just not working is even more hilarious.
It's working. You're out of a job.
Y'all have called Princeton. Mind you, my fellowship with Princeton was 2 years ago. The work that I did is already done, and the money that I've been paid has already been paid and spent. So that's done. So reaching out to them is doing absolutely.
I'd like to look at how she got into Princeton. Just hearing her speak doesn't sound like Princeton material. Just saying.
I reckon I have an idea or two.
I do too, but probably shouldn't say any more. But I'd love to see what that admissions was like.
She was like an adjunct professor or something.
Typing all the letters.
Sure,
and when it comes to our Houston Food Insecurity Board, I'm probably going to make a separate video about that because I got a few choice words for Mayor Whitmore. Again, y'all called the mayor's office. I have not been on the Food Insecurity Board since January. So, again, you've done nothing but make your fingers sore.
Well, maybe you won't be on Food Insecurity Board, but on Food Insecurities because you're not going to be working there anymore.
She posted another one about her son's college, and like people were trying to like call his college, and she was basically like, that is going to do absolutely nothing, and my kid is smarter than yours, and yours is going to get some shitty education, and mine's getting a good education. And I don't usually support the cancel culture of like trying to get people fired for their jobs and or extending that, especially extending that to their kids. I think that's unfair. I'm making an exception. Here. I think you have the world's shittiest person for a mom. Sorry. I hope that you get fucking booted from whatever fancy ass college you somehow got into. I hope you get booted from it.
Yeah. Yeah. The world needs a lot less of these people, and we're seeing them. What they're really pissed about is FEMA. The racket that was becoming FEMA was, gutted in their opinion. So that's how Trump is responsible for this. And then her true feelings about, the color of someone else's skin that's not like really hers, except for her own husband. That's totally what this is about. She's got in her mind, I don't know what kind of white dude she married.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to see? What's her last name?
Perkins. It is Perkins. Yeah.
He's a pastor Perkins. Too.
Sade. Oh, cool. Do you know what he looks like?
Pull it up. She's probably fucking scrubbing the internet.
Probably. Well, they're really pissed about some of the things that were stripped out of FEMA. And let's be clear, what FEMA's response would have been to the flooding in Texas. Good luck. As if you understand FEMA's a response team, right? Like FEMA doesn't do stuff. The weather service, there could be a lot of failings in this. There's also local municipalities that are in charge of getting message out. It's not the federal government's job. FEMA comes in after the tragedy has happened, boots on the ground to get stuff done, to clean stuff up. The last administration, they decided they would do that, just not anybody that had a Trump lawn sign.
Yeah, that was
if you remember. Don't forget that.
That was crazy. I forgot about that.
Fact, by the way. Yeah, fact. That happened. And, it was just kind of like, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
My bad. That was kind of the response to that. Think about that for a second. So one of the things that it was scrapped by this administration, remember, cutting waste and fraud is what they want to do. Let's tighten this thing up, cut bullshit to it. So what they cut, a couple programs that they're really pissed about. Idiots like that are really pissed about. Trump killed all these people. Fuck out of here. The BRIC grant program, which is the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities grant program. She's married to that dude. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the least surprising thing ever.
I'm not going to tell you.
They always are married to white people.
Yeah. What is that? And that guy, I wouldn't want to look at his search history. Let's just say that. He looks like someone whose search history I wouldn't want to be aware of.
Yes.
Just saying. So the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities grant program is a FEMA initiative aimed at supporting state, local communities, tribes, and territories in undertaking hazard mitigation projects to reduce risks from natural disasters. It replaces the pre-disaster mitigation program that was established under amendments to Section 203 of the Robert Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act of 2018. BRIC focuses on, so again, they pre-disaster mitigation. Okay. Why would FEMA be funding that? I don't know. They're an emergency response organization. Yeah, so, but whatever. Then you get to BRIC focuses on proactive research-supported investments in community resilience, emphasizing infrastructure projects. They prioritize. Here's where it gets cute. They prioritize equity and environmental agendas over practical disaster mitigation.
Right.
So under the Biden administration, BRIC emphasized equitable and green infrastructure projects, which they claimed which would dilute effectiveness, essentially, critics would claim.
Well, yeah, and that wouldn't have done anything here anyway, because it was just the pesky whites that died, right?
Right.
I mean, so... Right.
The rich whites, by the way, that died in that case.
Yeah.
Specifically, the program's focus of this federal FEMA grant money, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So taxpayers pay into it, and then FEMA's going to decide what to do with it. Their focus, though, again, the emergency response group, their focus is on disadvantaged communities, climate change adaptation, and nature-based solutions, like projects reducing carbon emissions or addressing environmental injustice or environmental justice. A 2025 FEMA memorandum under the Trump administration called BRIC wasteful and politicized, suggesting they were more concerned with political agendas than aiding disaster-affected Americans. That money was sent back to emergency response.
Right.
So spare me that they would have come in. Oh, if it wasn't for
it didn't go into Trump's pocket.
Yeah, we needed bricks.
Right.
Yeah. That's not how this works, people. Aiming to address systemic vulnerabilities in underserved area, which often face disproportionate disaster impacts. FEMA's fiscal year 2023 priorities included projects benefiting disadvantaged communities and nature-based solutions to combat climate-driven hazards. I don't even know what that means. So that's one of the programs they cut. They also cut rural development community facilities, direct loan and grant program, providing funding to develop essential community facilities in rural areas with populations of 20,000 or fewer, aiming to enhance quality of life and economic vitality by supporting infrastructure for healthcare, public safety, education, and community services. Eligible applicants include NGOs. You see the loop NGOs there? The loop you get into. So nonprofit organizations and federally recognized tribes. Sure. So I'm not sure the federal tribes got affected by this flood, but whatever, who cares? As long as 28 little white kids died, we can make our rant. It's just unbelievable. So Caroline Leavitt, leave it.
I got it.
Say to the bigs. She said.
We have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media.
The bone to pick with
Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. Here are the facts. In the lead up to this tragic natural disaster, the National Weather Service did its job. Despite unprecedented rainfall, the National...
Therein lies the point from the federal government side, right? The local municipalities have a job too, and theirs is to sound the local horns, blah, blah, blah. There was no response that the federal government, because Trump took their money away, that wasn't done in this case.
The National Weather Service executed timely and precise forecasts and warnings. On July 3rd, the National Weather Service office in Austin, San Antonio, Texas, conducted forecast briefings for emergency management in the morning and issued a flood watch in the early afternoon. Flash flood warnings were also issued on the night of July 3rd and in the early morning of July 4th, giving preliminary lead times of more than 3 hours before flash flooding conditions occurred. And the National Weather Service office in New Braunfels, which delivers forecasts for Austin, San Antonio, and the surrounding areas, had extra staff on duty during the storms, despite claims of the contrary. So to any person who has deliberately lied about these facts surrounding this catastrophic event, you should be deeply ashamed.
Yeah, should be. What's your bone?
Well, I'll come back to my bone in a second.
All right.
But have you seen the blue rain in Texas that happened like a few days prior to this?
I did. I saw, I don't know what to believe, though, to be honest with you. I saw like a Instagram, TikTok, one of those, and a guy was out camping and it was pooling in his tent or something.
Yeah. They've come out. I don't know if it's the National Weather Service or who did it, but they came out and acknowledged that blue rain was happening, but they blamed it on like other factors. So the blue rain 100% happened, but they're not saying it's because of what other people are saying, which is cloud seeding, which apparently they do in Texas. I was watching Brandon Tatum earlier, who I really like a lot, but
he's great. Officer Tatum.
Yeah. He's saying
fantastic.
I think Texas has four programs that are essentially you inject something into the clouds that makes it rain. If you're going through a drought or whatever. And so like a few days prior to this, you had this blue rain, and then you have a once in 500 year flood. You're never going to know, you're never going to get to the bottom of it, but it's it's interesting. Like, how the fuck did this happen? And the fact that it happened over the 4th of July just means like this whole area was so much busier than it probably ordinarily was,
Yeah.
It's just so sad. But my bone to pick with Levitt there, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but did you see her response to the Epstein thing?
No, it's the next story I have. I don't think I saw her immediate response though. If you have it, we can definitely watch it.
If you want to talk about
I'll do this while you pull it up. There's another person down there, a Texas pediatrician. She's been shit canned, and I think more of these need to happen too, after claiming that Trump supporters got what they voted for.
Yeah.
So in other words, all these people died, and good, you got what you voted for. Because if you're being reasonable, obviously if Kamala Harris was president, this flood would have been stopped in its tracks. And this once in a 5 generation flood wouldn't have happened. And obviously her response time would have been on point. Obviously we can agree with that. Dr. Christina Probst sparked massive backlash after she took to Facebook to share a now deleted message where she appeared to take glee in the floods that at the time of this story was 89 dead. I've heard 94. That's going to skyrocket because when you have hundreds missing, it's like 9/11.
They're all dead.
It's like, oh yeah, but there's still 1,700 missing. It's like, yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you were not finding those people.
Oh, did you hear about those sisters that were found holding hands?
Dead?
Yeah. They were at that camp. They're like 11 and 13.
Oh.
And they were found holding hands.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'd be holding hands with anybody who would hold hands with me.
I know. But then I started like, how'd they hold hands that whole time?
She thought it was a good idea to post as this happened. May all visitors, she works at the hospital. May all visitors, children, non-MAGA voters, and pets be safe and dry. Kerr County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts.
That's like evil shit.
Yeah, it's evil.
That's like really
it's pure
fucking evil.
She got fired. She says, let's see, they came out and fired her. There's no room in medicine nor civilized society for this kind of hate, wrote one person. The backlash forced her workplace, Bluefish Pediatrics, to issue a statement. We're aware that a personal social media comment by one of our physicians has caused significant hurt and outrage. The content and timing of that post do not reflect the values, standards, or mission, blah, blah, blah. We want to be clear. We don't support or condone this statement. Our patients come from every walk of life, every political belief, and every background, and we are honored to serve each of them with empathy and integrity. That's the statement you want from a hospital on the same day. Immediate. This isn't, you don't need a board meeting about this. That's what you want. I don't care what their background is. I don't care if they're a dirty, poor person or a fucking Mexican child or a white, rich person. It doesn't matter. Their care should be, at least as far as the hospital's concerned, top of the line. It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
In moments of crisis, we believe in unity over division, healing over judgment, and humility over rhetoric. We're taking this matter seriously, reviewing it internally, and have placed this idiot on leave. She's since been fired. Well,
I've got news for all those people who seem to think that this wasn't going to happen if Kamala Harris or Joe Biden were president. Just like to remind you of a couple things that happened when Joe Biden was president. East Palestine. The chemical train wreck, major flooding in California, devastating tornado in Kentucky, the wildfires that was towards the end. Yep. North Carolina, there
were Flint under Obama in there.
Yes, there were plenty of natural disasters when Joe Biden was president. So, like, let's just all accept that natural disasters happen. They always have happened. It doesn't matter who the fuck is president. And if you are wishing that kids who literally have nothing to do with who your president is, they can't vote. Yeah. They didn't do anything to you other than go to a fucking summer camp. So if you are wishing them this pain, and you're wishing this pain on these families, you have a special place in hell waiting for you. And I'm going to be there to fucking welcome you, because I'm going to be in fun hell with the people who had fun and who just did things like swear and, you know, not ask for forgiveness before they died. That's good. That's where I'm
sex before marriage. And
exactly. Like, we're going to be in the fun section, and we're going to be on the welcoming committee for people like this. And like, we're going to dog walk them to their fucking final destination. Yeah.
Crank the ovens up.
Yeah. Like, it's so evil. It is so evil. I can't even imagine being that broken. Yeah. Imagine that.
You're a horrible person. You're a horrible, like, I wish these people could look in the mirror and just take a pause and understand the things coming out of their mouth and go, am I sure I'm right? Am I sure I'm the good guy here?
Am I everything that I'm accusing them of doing? Do I embody everything that I hate?
Exactly. Like, everything. Literally you just wished 77 million people you threw into that camp of I don't care if they live or die, they're not worthy of walking this earth with us. This is a one side of the aisle problem right now. And I don't know how you deal with it, because I don't know the conservative person. I don't know them who would be like, oh, it's a lesbian. Fuck her. Good. I hope she drowned.
No one. Literally no one. No one.
I don't know that person. Does it mean that person doesn't exist? Maybe. But this is a common post on Facebook. It's a common comment I might hear in certain places. Yeah. It's a common comment, you know, of just like, they couldn't possibly have their reasons or their ideas don't align with mine completely and totally. So I don't know, maybe hear them out. No, that person, that it doesn't appear anyways that reasonable person on the left exists right now. I don't.
Some of them do.
Do they?
I think
my brother, maybe.
I've met some of them during my Karen Reed journey. Some of them might even be listening right now.
Yeah.
We have 740 people listening right now.
Yeah.
So that's.
And
but look, no, in all seriousness, Mike. No, in all seriousness, that type of hatred does only come from that side, and I like, you would never ever see that, because it would be on the front page of every fucking newspaper if some horrible white person came out and was like happy that 27 black kids were missing.
Oh, that person, I can't even imagine it.
That person would and should like be publicly humiliated for the rest of their lives, just like the Sade chick should. And I know I'm pronouncing her name wrong, and I'm doing it on purpose.
On purpose, yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And I don't know if this is like another thing of the TDS that I think will honestly be evaluated at some point, looked into when you get further down life. Yeah,
we need to save their brains when they die and do like brains, like we study CTE. We need to study TDS.
Yes, it almost feels like that, because I honestly, and I know some of them personally. I've met some people that would say something along these lines, and it's like, I knew them before this administration broke them on a humanitarian level that they could even say something like that. By the way, this Dr. Probst or whatever was one of the dyed in the wool mask Nazis too.
Well, of course she was.
You know, one of those. It's like something broke those people that they've lost. They claim to have all this empathy and for other people and full hearts and just love. It's all about love. Except those people that disagree with me. Fuck, I hope they all die. And they drowned. They got what they had coming to them. I cannot imagine a conservative going and making that statement online. I just can't.
No.
I seriously, maybe on a deep Reddit forum somewhere, like, it's about time we started getting rid of those X people. maybe on a Reddit forum somewhere.
Maybe in one of our breakout sessions at our Project 2025 meetings. Maybe.
Yeah.
But never online.
Yeah. Let's move on to the I obviously the Elon Musk story. And it's not really an Elon Musk story. He was mentioning it, but the one you were talking about, and I want to hear why you were
Epstein
taking issue with Epstein, Caroline Leavitt. But there's a stunning report from the Justice Department and FBI concluding that Jeffrey Epstein did not hold a client list and did kill himself in prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the evidence I need.
Just trust us.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Insane.
Fucking sane.
Yeah.
Then why is Ghislaine in jail?
Yeah.
If he didn't have a client list, why the fuck is she in jail? Free that bitch then. Free her. Because if he didn't do anything, if he doesn't have a client list, if they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are we even having this conversation?
Pam Bondi say she had the fucking list on her desk.
On her desk. She had the Epstein files. Did she say client list?
She said, I think
don't remember exactly.
The question was like the list, the flight logs, the files. And she said, I have all of that sitting on my desk. That was how she responded to it. But Dookie or Ducey,
Peter
whatever
Ducey.
his name is. Yeah.
He's the Nepo baby of Steve Ducey.
Yeah, but
he Fox Morning Show.
I don't mind him.
He does a great job. I hated him in the beginning because I think his dad's such a dork on the weekend show. I can't stand his dad. But Peter honestly does a legit decent job asking questions.
And I appreciate him not like letting up on this president or this press secretary. Like, if you have an issue, ask her the fucking question, even though that, obviously you voted for Trump. Like, and that's the difference, I think, in the left versus the right, is when our side does something that we don't agree with, we can admit it. And I think we're all on board saying we're all very disappointed with how this administration handled this. Very disappointed. And I'm disappointed in her response here. It just gave me like Karine Jean-Pierre and Jen Psaki. It was
vibes.
Yeah. And you could tell she was reading, and the way that they just, you'll see, she swerves and she starts talking about how the Trump, Department of Justice under his presidency, all the things they've accomplished. And it's like, cool. That's literally not what we're talking about. You made a promise to release the Epstein files. You did this whole big thing where you had influencers come to the White House and they left with like fucking binders of like version 1 of the Epstein files, which contained no new information. And then you string us along and then tell us there's no list. He killed himself. Just trust us, bro. And oh, by the way, here's the full video that's missing a minute. Like, what are we fucking doing here?
Yeah.
So her response annoyed me, and this is her response.
Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase.
Yeah, that's great, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Right. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. That they promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Okay, actually, there was no exhaustive review, because do you want to know what a fucking exhaustive review looks like? maybe some people out there thought that there was an actual list. I was never under the impression that Jeffrey Epstein had a list of like, these are the names that of everybody that I was blackmailing. I never thought that. What I did think, though, was that through all of the fucking discovery that you got out of all of his computers and all of his files, that you yourself, Pam Bondi, could make a fucking list and let us know what the list says. Like, that is an exhaustive review, is going through and picking out every single motherfucking perpetrator, putting them on the list and releasing the fucking list so that we don't have to go through all the documents. That is what an exhaustive review looks like. Not what you did.
They went to that island and all we heard was that there were cameras everywhere. Like, where are those files? And then the exhaustive part, to your point, would be going through those disgusting tapes and whatever's on them and then giving us a report. And if that means celebrities are on there, if it means politicians are on there, if it means Donald Trump is on there, I don't give a shit. That we do have a right to know. It just tells you how deep the deep state is, really. Like, I want to know because I know my hopes were highest, not for Pam Bondi, because most people are disappointed with Pam Bondi. Mine were for Kash Patel. Kash was my guy. I'd seen enough interviews and I believed him. I believed in Kash Patel. Dan Bongino, sure. I think Dan Bongino is a fair-minded guy, and I believed in, and it seemed like a super team to those of us that are never going to be on the inside. It seemed like you were like, this was going to be the deep state busters that come out and go, you aren't going to believe what these people are trying to hide from you. And it's going to lead people down a path of like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean Donald Trump truly is was like, he's been honest about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein and him, ran in small circles together. And then we'd heard that, Trump thought he was a creep and then banned him from Mar-a-Lago. And it's like, I'm not responsible for every fucking behavior that people that I've run in mild circles with throughout my life. I'm not responsible for every bad thing they've ever done.
Right.
So it sounded like, okay, you can run in those elitist New York circles and parties. My guess is that doesn't mean everybody that went to Diddy's house was responsible for Diddy's behavior or a handful of people's behavior. Like, I wasn't willing to write some up, but you can't help but go, well, why else would this group of people cover something like that up? What does it say? Because they wouldn't be covering for Bill Clinton.
No.
They wouldn't be covering, but...
Well, what I think it is, I think the information's gone. I mean, I think if you think that there's just information laying around about what happened to JFK, what really happened on 9/11, and who was actually like the big players on that list, you think that information is just like laying around somewhere and no one has gotten rid of it? I don't think it's there. So, but again, the way this was handled was really shitty too, because when you promise us transparency and then you come on TV and you say, oh, I've got the files on my desk. And then you say, and then you give out that bullshit binder that had no new information, but made it look like you were actually doing something. And then Kash and Dan go on TV and say, trust us. He killed himself. We're going to release the video, but just trust us. And then like 2 months later, the video comes out.
Yeah.
It's missing a minute, which is fucking weird. And they just release it with no comment. And it's like, if you wanted transparency, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all three of you who promised us that would have sat down for some kind of fucking press conference and gone through what you found. If you go through it and you tell us, you know what's suspiciously missing? All the names we thought were going to be in there. We couldn't find any of them.
Which
at
would
least
be just
that tells
fine.
us exactly. Like at
it would
least
be fine to say.
Right. But for you to just
here's what was left. Here's what was left in the files. We've gone through exhaustively every inch of these files.
Yeah.
And you know what's suspiciously missing?
Yeah.
Any semblance of a little black book that we thought Ghislaine Maxwell had, some sort of client list that was rumored. It's all missing, folks. And it sounds as fishy to us as it obviously will to you.
Yeah. But to do it the way they did it, And then to have Carolyn Leavitt be like, but this is what we've done on crime. It's like, fuck you. Literally, fuck you. That is not what the question was. We don't give a shit about that right now. That's not what we're asking about. And, you know, this was a large part of why people voted for Trump. And I think that they massively failed on this. I think they've massively failed on the Trump assassination attempt. I think they've massively failed on a lot of shit. And I'm disappointed. There's no doubt about it. I think that they really I mean, don't get me wrong. I would vote for Trump all day, every day again. But, you know, we're big enough people to recognize that our side is not doing something that we agree with.
Yeah, that we all wanted. And there's no way I'm going to take a knee on that. And you know, just to be like, oh, my team, got to defend them no matter what. We saw that play out for 4 years and it was gross. And the fact is, it comes down to this for all the people that are, you know, I regret my vote. Shut up.
Fuck that.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
No, I firmly believe, and I mean this, that if Kamala Harris had won the presidency, that potentially could have been the end of this country as you know it. Yeah. The train would have kept rolling the way it was going. And I don't know that you would have been able to, after 8 years of that, the gaslighting, the border, that sort of stuff. I don't know that you would have been able to reel that back in on any sort of like meaningful level. I firmly believe that. So no, this, you know, I don't know what's going on with this story. I don't know why, you know, what the truth of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King, like it seems quiet on that front. I don't know why the Matthew Crooks that you brought up, why we don't know more about that. Like this stuff, it seems like easy. These are easy ones. Yeah. This is really disturbing. Like these guys all going, we've seen it and nothing to see here. Like, I don't know how deep the deep state goes. And if it's like, if you get sat down in a room with guys in black suits that go, Dan, Cash, Pam, these are your children. These are pictures of them at their schools. If you want them to be able to be picked up from school today, you are going to go in front of the press and you're going to say nothing to see here. Am I clear? Like, I have no idea how bad it is. The level of people you're talking about, influence and power they have, like, it could be as simple as a meeting between those minds going, you can clean up the border. Yeah, we thought we were playing the long game. We thought we could pull this off. And you guys won an election fair and square. You can clean up the mess we created. But shut the fuck up about this, okay? This goes higher than all of you could dream of going in your lifetime. And you can keep going down this road and lose your families over it and potentially yourselves. You could be the next JFK. You could be the next Bobby Kennedy. You know, ask Robert F. Kennedy Jr. how it was to grow up without a father. You can keep going the way they were going and you can meet the same fate, or you can shut the fuck up and then worry about some other stuff that you deem important. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it seems weird that these guys, of all people, would, because Carolyn Leavitt looks, for the first time since she's been press secretary, uncomfortable in that video you just played.
Exactly. Wasn't she giving off like Jen Psaki?
Not boss bitch vibes.
Right. Like she was looking down, like clearly they knew they were going to be asked this. They had these weird statistics ready to go. And I just don't love that. I just think it was just super shitty. I don't know.
And she was probably put in an impossible situation because we've seen her time and time again go, no, what you just said is bullshit. And here's why. And you're thinking bullshit. And I'm going to call it out before you even say it. Like she's that in control in those moments. I understand why the left hates her. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's the way she operates. That right there of like, nothing to see here. By the way, we did some cool stuff over here, huh?
Right.
No, dude.
Yeah, like no.
Don't Jen Psaki us. No.
Right.
No, you don't get to fucking binder us here.
Right.
Like that's got to be horribly embarrassing for someone like her. My guess is Caroline Leavitt goes in the back room and just goes, dude, I will quit before looking like a fool like that again.
Yeah.
Fuck
we got to come up
people.
with a better fucking answer.
Yeah. You ever send me out there like that again, that unprepared for something? Do you understand how bullshit this answer is? That, like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is, Mike.
All right. It's hot as balls in here.
Mike, do you want to hear what happened to me today?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do a read. Let me do a read, and then we'll hear what happened to you today.
Okay.
This part of the show, everybody, is brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you do not have to be. Call Nick at 248-914-1173. And let me do Fories too, and then I'll hear what happened to you.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh God. I should print this out so I don't have to read it off my phone. Deer Lake Athletic Club. That's where you want to go, folks. In Clarkston, they offer staycations with their summer memberships from Memorial Day to Labor Day, with their seasonal restaurant, poolside grill, awesome pools, serving delicious summer cocktails and great meals. Register now for their kids' summer day camp that runs through August 15th. Throughout the year, they have tennis, pickleball, fitness classes, a gym, and a bunch of pools. The Backcourt restaurant inside the Deer Lake Athletic Club is also open to the public with weekly dinner specials, kids' meals for just $5 on Thursdays, live entertainment on the weekend. Visit their website, deerlakeathletic.club.com, for more information about the club, restaurant, and the banquet center. Thank you. And don't forget to use promo code TDC. Go to MyPillow. They got energy drinks now that are supposed to be the shit. Get yourself some new sheets, pillows, all that stuff. Mike is great. I swear I'm going to reach out to them and get him back on here. So promo code TDC. You'd like to talk to him, wouldn't you?
I would.
He's a piece of work. He's so funny. He's always been a great guest. So
yes.
What happened to you this weekend?
Today, Mike.
Or today. I'm sorry.
I was driving back from Ann Arbor. I was out there visiting a client, and I knew I was low on gas.
If you ran out of gas, I'm going to punch you.
I knew I was low on gas, but I truly thought that I was going to make it back. So I'm very close to my house. I'm close to the gas station that's near my house, and I'm just about to I'm doing a Michigan U-turn. You know, I'm in the left. I'm doing, the Michigan U-turn, and my car just putters out. Okay. And I'm probably 200 feet from the gas station. And so I was just like, motherfucker. So I decide I'm not.
Hold on a second. What was low on gas to you? It tells you, I'm assuming you have a digital readout that's 14 miles, 2 miles.
It only says low. Once I reach 40 miles, it just says low.
Oh, are you driving an 84 Escort? What's going on?
No, I'm driving a 2025 Cadillac. No, 2024 Cadillac.
All right. Yeah, that should tell you how.
I know. So I knew I was on low, but when I went out to Ann Arbor, which I live 15-ish miles from, I was 15 there, 15-ish back, and I'll be fine. So I knew I had 40 miles. And so I'm very close to the gas station, and my car putters out. I'm like, motherfucker, and instead of throwing a temper tantrum, I was like, I am going to take care of this. I'm going to handle this like an adult. And I got out and I just put my hazards on. No. And I walked to the gas station that was 200 feet away. I walked to the gas station, bought a gas can, put gas in it, enough gas to get me to the gas station. And I get back to my car, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out how to use this motherfucking gas can. I was so pissed off, Mike. I'm literally sweating. I'm trying to put the gas in there, and it's just spurting back out. It's not going into the tank. It's literally just pooling, sitting right inside of when you open the
you stunk
thing.
Like gas.
I stunk like gas. Yeah. I'm all irritated, and I'm maybe enough has gotten in there that I can turn my car on and make it to the gas station. And no, it didn't. So I'm sitting there. I'm about to call Rocky and be like, how the fuck do you use this gas can? And a cop pulled up, and he's like, do you need help? And I was like, yes. Yeah. I'm annoyed and I'm sweating. And he was like, so you want me to be annoyed and sweat? And I was like, yes, that is what I want.
That is such a you response. I'm annoyed and sweating. Neither of which matter to the cop in this moment. Do you need some help? Oh my God, thank God you're here. Yes, I really could use some help. Annoyed and sweating should not have come out of your mouth.
I said yes. I said, yes, I'm annoyed and sweating. And I can't figure out how to use this fucking gas can. So he's like, I was like, it just keeps spraying gas back out at me. And he's like, well, open up where your spare tire is. I had no idea where that was at. I found it though.
Oh, come on.
He was like, well, I never
even I know that.
Well, my last car didn't have a spare.
Okay.
Which was weird. So anyway, so he's like, usually there's a funnel in with your spare tire. And so we're like looking all in there. Keep in mind, I've got like weed in my car and I'm like, fuck. Like if my car reeks like weed right now, I'm going to be really disappointed. So, anyway, so we can't find the funnel. No, he would. He was a nice guy. And so he had a funnel in his car, thank God. And so he like puts the funnel in, gets the gas in, and I get to the gas station, whatever. And he's like, maybe, you should either, keep a funnel in the car or maybe not wait so long to get gas in your car. And I was like, those are actually two really good suggestions. And I appreciate those, officer. But I was so close. Like I almost made it to the gas station, And so he helped me and I was on my merry way. But a funnel? How
what did you
fuck was I supposed to know? And why, when I purchased the gas can, did I not get all of the materials I needed to put gas in my car?
Did you buy one of those gas cans that you screw the thing on and it's got a dildo sticking out the front of it?
Yes.
And sometimes those are upside down.
Yeah.
And you got to unscrew them and pull them out and then screw them in.
I got that far, Mike.
Yeah. Some of them have like child locks on there and they're basically adult locks. I even got
past that motherfucking thing.
You did?
That was difficult. Yes. So I got it to where the gas was coming out of the can. But so I guess really I knew how to use the gas can. I guess I didn't know how to use my car. That's a better way of putting it. Because apparently in newer cars, they have something in there where you have to use a funnel. Otherwise, it just, when you're putting it in there, it just like spits back out at you.
Really?
Yeah. And so when I was telling Rocky this, he's like, yeah, I was like, would you have known that if I would have called you and like been having a panic attack because I couldn't get gas in my car? He's like, yeah, I would have known that. And I was like, how? He's like, I guess that that's just on newer cars. Like you have to have a funnel. Otherwise.
He's making that up. He didn't know that.
I feel like that
I
too.
don't know that. Yeah. I think he's just making that up to make you
he's
feel
generally
even dumber.
Handier than you are. I think. So I'm like, you comparing the two of you, like, because you didn't know it means he didn't know it, doesn't necessarily like square. But I also agree that he didn't know that.
That's not the win you think it is for him. And I should be insulted by that, but I'm not at all because I know I'm basically worthless. So, I wouldn't have known that. I'm calling into question whether or not he actually knew that. I would think the dildo on the end of the can is shoved into the vagine hole of the gas.
You know
tank,
what? I'll give him
you're
credit.
Good.
He did know that because when I said, and when I was putting the gas in, it kept spitting back out. He goes, yeah, you need a funnel. So he did know that.
My last men's meeting that I was at, I don't remember that being covered at all. No one's told me that. How the hell would I know that?
The cop was like, get out the manual. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The manual? So I'd like, get out the manual. And sure enough, it was like, yeah, there's a funnel in with your spare tire. Yeah. But there was no funnel there. So thankfully, the nice cop had a funnel in his car and he did his.
It's called a manual for a reason, not a womanual.
Yeah.
So what I would have done as a man, because I've been in that situation where I've run out of gas. I was like 16, Yeah. And if and I did that specifically where I was like 200 feet, like, oh, come on.
Well, you know what, Mike? I bet you wait until the last minute to get gas.
I don't now.
You don't?
No. When I've got a quarter tank, I'm like, I'm not playing around. I don't know the area enough. And I don't play around. But I have done that where it's like, I'm coasting there. I got to get some momentum up because at any moment, and then it's like,
it's just like, oh man.
Yeah. I've had to open the door and push it myself though, not stand on the side of the road, irritated and sweating.
Annoyed and sweating.
And I was going to say, if you do that and you put a little shoulder into it and you just walk it like, yeah, I know I'm an asshole, and waved at people going by,
Mike,
you got to get momentum
Michigan
up to
Avenue. I wasn't going to push my car down Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
I mean, that just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
that's not like.
And then, I'm pumping gas into this gas can, and there's these two fucking guys next to me who are like, hey, you think that you can help us out with some gas? And I'm just like, do I look like I want to help you right now? I'm putting gas in a gas can with no vehicle here. So fuck off. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, Ames. Well, I'm glad you got through it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm glad you got through it. All right, let's call it there for the day. I am dying. Now I'm irritated and sweating.
Well, Mike, this
annoyed
is
and sweating.
Record for us. We have 857 people watching as we sign off. So
hi, people. It's because of Amy, not me.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Hey, have you gotten an update? Did you circle back with your guy yet?
Yeah, he told me he's going to let me know tomorrow what his schedule is for this week. He had a court date today, actually.
Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy, on some of his charges, and it went pretty well. And also, interestingly enough, some of the Massachusetts state police officers who were like Proctor's supervisors, and they testified in the trial, we found out today that they've been rehomed to different parts of the Massachusetts State Police. So pretty much everybody that was involved with the Karen Reed and Turtle Boy cases have been reassigned to like desk duty, basically.
Really? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Why is that a good thing? Because off.
None of them should be fucking police officers, because they're horrible people.
Yeah. I know it's not easy to get police officers. You probably don't want to shit can people, but.
Yeah. And honestly, they're taking a page out of the Catholic Church, where they just like relocate you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, you fondled a boy over here. We'll just send you to a less known church in like Kansas or something, you know?
Yeah. So I have a problem with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
All right. Well, okay, cool. Well, then we should get an update from him tomorrow, which is when we'll be back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Ames, for being here. I'm glad you got through your gas hijinks today. And we'll be back tomorrow.